Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fast Fishing. This is going to be our first episode of 2018, so thanks for checking it out. Today we're going to be talking about how to pitch baits. I'm down at the park so that we can give you some aspect and show you some different techniques on how to do it. You can do this in your house, you can do it in your garage, but watch out for those ceiling fans because they're tip destroyers. So let's get into it. We're going to start out with some basic setup instructions. So first of all, get your line all squared away. There you go. And you want to test the break on your rod. Now I just got a jig head on here with a little twin tail grub, and I'm going to push the release, and I'm seeing it falls really loose and freely down towards the bottom. That's about perfect. If you release it and it falls like that, it's going to be tough to pitch that bait. So you want to let it go so it's a lot more free, just like this. And then from there, you're going to set up some targets. Now I got a couple of targets set up down here. An orange bucket, it's a bigger bucket. It's a great thing to start out with so you can hone your skills and get it closer. And another thing I've got is a red spray paint can lid. So it's a lot smaller, more targeted. So when you get better, you're starting to hit that bucket consistently, you can switch over to something smaller like a water bottle or that spray paint can lid like that. Now one thing I will say is when you're aiming at different targets like this, the one thing you have to keep in mind is you're aiming at the base of a target, right? You're not aiming to go, you know, into it or whatnot, but you want to go close to it. So we're going to start flipping at these things. Well, hello, buddy. Hi, would you like me to throw the ball for you? There you go. Never know what you're going to find at the park, right? Here you go. Maybe you should go up there. Alrighty. So here we go, flipping the first. Again, the simple process. You're holding it beside yourself by the rod. You release it and you raise your rod tip. And then it falls to where you're aiming. Okay? Then you're just going to reel it in, let out your line, and shake. So with this, if I'm flipping a jig, it's the same process. I'm going to aim it at my target. I'm going to release the bait, and I'm going to raise my rod tip. And then it's going to land where it wants. I'm going to let out some line. By hand is preferred, because if you're pulling your line out by your hand, you're not moving the bait in the water column. And of course, I did a little professional overrun there. It's one of the difficulties when you have your reel set up like this loose, is that you will occasionally overspool it a little bit and have to pull out a little extra line. So if you're pulling your line out with your rod, letting it spool that line out when it lands, you're actually causing that bait to swing away. So you want to do it by your hand. So here we go again, aiming at our target and raising that rod tip right in the bucket. Okay, and then you shake your bait. Now as you get a little better, you can start increasing your length. I can pitch pretty accurately to about 15 or so, 20 yards, pretty accurately. I know that seems like a long ways, but the reality is the better you get at it and the better your rod is set up, the better you're able to do that. So, all right, we're gonna start. Okay, here we go again. This is only about 5 yards away. It's really close. Pointing it at the bucket, well, hit the grass. Now, I would recommend standing on something like a milk crate or something just to get you a little off the ground like you were if you were on the boat, or maybe standing on a rock on the bank, because you're always going to be a little above the water. With this, I'm standing right at water level, so I have to be a little more careful. But just like that, right on the GoPro, right in the bucket. And it's hard to see, but right over here we've got this red paint can lid. Same thing, just straight at it, boom. Every time, just right at that paint can lid. Again, you got to be accurate. This is supposed to be a silent approach. It's supposed to be quieter than casting. So keeping that thing low to the water, slowing it as it lands is perfect. Now when you want to get more aggressive and you really want to flip that sucker out there, you got to raise that rod tip a lot harder when you cast. So I'm just going to flip this a little further. Same thing, I'm kind of pointing it where I want to go and I'm flipping it out there. Now I'm flipping right into the wind here, so it's not that easy. And this is a 1/4 ounce head. I usually flip 5/8, but same thing, flip it and it gets way out there. So again, the simplest of ideas. Right next to you, pointing at the thing, let it pendulum out, spool it out, and there it goes, right in the bucket. Every time. It's super accurate, it's super quiet, which means those fish are not going to be alerted to you dropping that bait in there, and it's going to get more reaction bites on the fall, and it's going to get more of those bites where you don't spook the fish. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, with all this stuff going on in YouTube, keep in mind to hit that subscribe button when you're watching these videos. I know a lot of us, we watch videos, we're like, oh, that was a good video, and we go on to the next one. We never think about subscribing to those channels. But with all the changes that YouTube is making to their partner program, it's more important than ever to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. So I appreciate the continued support, and we'll see you next video.